What's up, guys? Until Nick here, and welcome back to our Top 10 Tuesday. Today I'm going to be discussing about the top 10 characters I feel like should be added to ARMS. Now, the reason I started this list is because of the newly added DLC character, which is going to come out in July, which is Max Brass, which is actually one of the bosses in ARMS, and I decided why not think of the characters that are going to be DLC as well. So these characters are going to be characters from other franchises and even other fighting games too, and characters that I feel like could work out with the stretchable arms, and I'll also discuss about their unique 3 arms type that will be coming to the game, and what their special ability would be. So, without further ado, let's start off things with number 10. At number 10, we have Simon Belmont. Now, the reason I think Simon Belmont should be in ARMS is that his extendable arms would be like chains, kind of like Ninjara, and it would be similar to his whip in the Castlevania series. But the reason he's at number 10 is because he's owned by Konami, and Nintendo doesn't really have the rights to Simon Belmont. So yeah, also Castlevania has kind of been dead since 2013, so there's really not been a new game since 2013, and also because he doesn't really have any extendable arms, and yeah, but for his arms, like his specific arms, he'll probably have at the end of his whip either a ball and chain, like he'll have like a Megaton type of thing at the end of his whip, or maybe he'll have like one of the special weapons like the dagger or the axe, where the axe would act kind of like the whammer, where it would be like kind of an arc formation. And as for his special ability, I feel like he could be somewhat like Lucario from the Smash Brothers series, where like in the games, his whip gets better on, or his whips get more like powerful as the game goes on, and as you get like more whip upgrades. And I feel like the same thing can happen for Simon Belmont, where either he takes a certain amount of damage, or maybe it's time based, where he will he'll like soon get his whip better. Like first he'll have a leather whip, which doesn't do that much damage and can't reach that far. Then he'll get a chain whip that does 2 times more damage, but still doesn't reach as far, and then he'll soon get the chain whip extension, which will allow him to have his whip go even further, and maybe even further than the other people that have the extendable arms. So that's the reason he's at number 10. Let's go move on to number 9. At number 9, we have Amaterasu. Now this is a character from Okami and owned by Capcom, but Okami was on the Wii, and he is in a fighting game in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which is pretty cool. So he does have a chance of being in ARMS. And yeah, the way I feel like Amaterasu would fight in ARMS would be his extendable arms might be just the ink from the Celestial brush, and it'll just be like little ink strips as his extendable arms. As for his arms attacks, he'll have like 3 different types of arms, which will be 3 different types of weapons, like in his game. So he'll have the beads, which will be like projectile type arms, like in like the dragons in ARMS. You'll have the swords, which might be like the whammer, where it will be in an arc formation, or maybe like the ram where it'll be like a swinging horizontally sword. And then you also have the reflectors, which can act like the guardian, or even can act like the ram where it hits horizontally. So the reason I think he's only at number 9 is because, well, Nintendo doesn't really have the rights to it, so yeah. At number 8, we have Megaman. Now, the reason Megaman could be in ARMS is because he was in Smash Brothers, and just like in Smash Brothers, really any character can happen, as we see with Cloud and Bayonetta and all these crazy characters that got announced in Smash. So it is a possibility that he could be in ARMS. The reason he's at number 8 though is because he really doesn't have extendable arms. He'll just probably send out projectiles. He'll have like his arms attacks could be like his like mechanical bird friend, which I forget his name. It can be similar to the Phoenix or the Thunderbird, but maybe do some wind damage. He can throw the metal blades. He can throw the the hard knuckle and just send out his arm. And those were probably his three main attacks. So those will be his three main arms for his attacks. As for his special ability, he could probably just be able to slide maybe and do a slide attack on the enemies by just maybe holding down dash and jump at the same time to do a sliding attack. But other than that, that's why I think Mega Man should be in ARMS. At number 7, we have an electric type of ARMS fighter. Now this would be an original character. I don't really know what it would look like, but if I had to guess, it would be similar to the Ultra Beasts in Pokemon Sun and Moon, as you guys are watching right now. And I feel like this would be like a kooky, wacky type of character, similar to Helix. And I just thought of the character as someone that can extend its arms and be realistic, where it would have wires for arms and be able to stretch them out. As for its arms attacks, I feel like it could have outlets and outlets and sockets and stuff like that, and also maybe a TV too, to be honest. And how it would work, where it would be like similar to the Tri-Bolt with the plugs, and there'll be their main form of attack, where he would use the plug, but there would be like two that would be going horizontally and one like at the bottom, similar to like a combination of the Tri-Bolt and the Hydra, which I think is the one that Kid Cobra has, the Hydra. I forget what it's called. I think that's what it is called. And then you also have the outlet itself. So then the outlet would be similar to the Guardian, where I feel like it would be also similar to like something like Ness and Lucas with the PSI counter, the PSI absorb, whatever it is, and basically absorb projectiles. So things like the Ram and things like the dragons that shoot out projectiles types of things, I feel like it would be able to absorb it. And also things that are like electric type of attacks, which are pretty overpowered in my opinion. And I feel like that would be kind of his ability to just be weak against lightning, or like shock against, and he can't get shocked. Like he cannot get stunned by the electric type of arms, which I feel like would be pretty useful, because a lot of people I see online use a lot of the shocking type of elemental for their arms. So I feel like having this spark type of enemy or whatever it is can be very useful, and be very useful offensively and defensively against the shock type of enemies. So yeah, just my thoughts of a new character. But anyway, on to number 6. At number 6, we have Minda from Twilight Princess. Now I feel like Minda would be a perfect fit for ARMS, because she does have an extendable arm as her hair, kind of like Twintel. But it is one single arm. But I feel like they can make a change to that in ARMS with having maybe 2 small pigtails instead of having one giant ponytail. As for attacks for ARMS, maybe she'll have a wolf in a hand. Like maybe it could be similar to the Phoenix or the Thunderbird, where she like has a wolf that will like come and like go like a boomerang. And maybe her other attacks could be like related to like Twilight Princess, where maybe she'll have like the Mirror of Twilight as like a shield. And also Minda would make a lot of sense too, because she does have a mask, and I think I heard that the ARMS characters actually get their powers from a mask, and so Minda is perfect for that because she has a mask, and that's what gives her her power and her form. So it makes a lot of sense, and that's why I think Minda is a perfect fit for ARMS. At number 5, we have Kirby. Now the reason I think Kirby can be this list is because his arms could be very stretchable, and him himself can be very stretchable, like Helix. Either that, or it could be like Yarn Kirby, where he has his Yarn Whip as his extendable arms. And as for his arms attacks, I feel like it can be unpredictable, because Kirby has so many abilities. But some of the things that I feel like could be a possibility is like Beam Kirby, where unlike the dragons where they shoot beams horizontally, he'll be able to shoot out like a wand, and the wand will shoot out a beam that goes vertically instead, which will be like the opposite of the dragon, kind of like how the Tribolt and the Hydra are basically opposites as well. As for his ability, I feel like his ability would just be copying your opponent's ability, like Ditto, and like Kirby himself, where Kirby just copies abilities. And although I don't think he'll be able to suck up enemies, but I feel like he can definitely just take their ability instead, and it'll make it a fair fight having the same ability and stuff. Either that, or he'll just have multiple jumps like Ribbon Girl. Anyway, after all that, I feel like Kirby's a definite perfect fit for ARMS. Anyway, on to number 4. At number 4, we have a pirate character. Now, I feel like a pirate character would be very fitting for ARMS because mainly we already have a ninja, and we also had a Splatfest in Splatoon, which was Pirates versus Ninjas. And I feel like he could be like, he could have like a personality and have like a rivalry with Ninjaro. But as for his arms, I feel like his arms could either be like maybe a plank of wood, like Walk the Plank, or it could be like pirate flags, like similar to like Ribbon Girl. And as for his arms attacks, I feel like he could have like a parrot, like shoot out a parrot, like similar to the Phoenix or the Thunderbird, and maybe have like a cannon that shoots cannonballs, similar to like the Ice Dragons and the other dragon. And it could also be his other attack could be like a sword, where it could either swing horizontally or vertically. And as for his special ability, it might just be to maybe he can jump higher, or maybe he can like duck and like go underwater, kind of similar to that. But like there's not really any water, but like he'll be able to like duck like Helix is able to duck. So like when he's dodging, he's able to like crouch down or something like that. And as for the pirate, it can be anywhere from like here, like the Wario pirate, or any other pirate, like an original character or something like that. At number 3, we have Headlock. Now, Headlock would make a ton of sense for ARMS because he is his own character, and seeing that Max Brass is being playable and he was one of the boss characters, it makes a ton of sense that the other boss character will be also playable. He won't be like available for 1v1s because he does have 6 arms after all, but I feel like he can definitely just be a character that you can play 1v3, kind of like in Mario Party where you have 1v3 matches, and he'll be just like that. So you'll be able to play his Headlock and be able to control 6 arms and fight 3 other people. Now it'll be a bit of a disadvantage because the Headlock CPU can kind of control his different arms and where they go, where in when you're playing as Headlock, you'll only be able to control 3 at a time. So it'd be a bit harder and a bit of a disadvantage, but maybe you'll have a bit more HP or a bit more attack power in exchange. But after all that, Headlock already has a special move, his special ability being able to have 6 arms, and yeah, I mean CPUs can control him, so why can't you? And it makes a ton of sense because, like I said, Max Brass is a boss character and he's being able to be playable, so why can't Headlock? So yeah, that's my reasoning for why Headlock should be in ARMS. Let's go on to number 2. At number 2, we have Bowser Jr. Now, Bowser Jr. makes a lot of sense because I think I saw an interview from Game Explain where they interviewed Mr. Kimishia, and he said that he got his inspiration from Mario Kart, and he was kind of thinking of adding a Mario Kart character. So I feel like the one that would make a lot of sense and be perfect for ARMS is Bowser Jr. And just like how he acts in Super Smash Bros., he would act the same way, where he would be in his Koopa Clown Cart and attack with his extendable arms in his Koopa Clown Cart. Now, as for his armed attacks, they would be just like in Smash Bros., where he has the boxing gloves as his like jab attack, and they would be just like that. And then he would have also his bowling balls or whatever they're called, like the cannonball things, as another ways of attack. And then he would also have his drill arms, like his forward smash. As for his ability, maybe he'll have like faster movement speed because he is in a helicopter or the Kupta cart or whatever it's called, and hovering around like that, maybe he'll have a faster movement speed because of it. So yeah, Bowser Jr. just makes a lot of sense for ARMS, and hope he is a DLC character. At number 1, we have Rayman. Now I feel like Rayman is a perfect fit because he it's kind of the reason that I made this countdown, because of his extendable fist. And although he doesn't have arms and it kind of be ironic, it'd be cool to see though, just having hands instead of arms, and that would be maybe his unique ability. Either that or it would just be hovering, kind of similar to Mechanica. And as for his arms attacks in general, I feel like they'd be similar to what is found in Rayman 3, where he has the special abilities of the different arms attacks. Like he has those spiked knuckles, he has the ones that shoot out tornadoes, he has the arm that is like a rocket and shoots off, which could be similar to like the homie. He has one where it's like a claw and it like snatches onto enemies, and I feel like that could be like similar to like the Pikmin, where they latch onto the enemy and do a little bit of damage. But I feel like it would make him vulnerable though, because you only have one arm left after using that. And yeah, but I feel like he's a definitely perfect fit. And you might be saying that he's not possible to be in ARMS. Well, it's definitely a possibility, especially seeing after we had Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. So after seeing that, literally anything is possible. So I definitely feel like Rayman could be in ARMS, and like I said, it makes a ton of sense, and he was the first character that I thought of when I heard about ARMS DLC characters. Now, I don't know if it's going to be possible, but like I said, after seeing Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, literally anything is possible. So yeah, that is my top 10 characters I want to see in ARMS. Thank you guys all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more Top 10 Tuesdays right here on Tell Nick. Bye.